Good morning, good morning. So Ashmar Wedge. I don't know, I wasn't gonna do this, but since I did grow a little experience of being on this camera, not being too shy to actually speak my emotions, and I appreciate being able to come back and see what I did and see how I felt and things like that. Well, today is probably the epitome of this record myself stuff and exposing it to the public. Today, the most important person in my life, and I don't say that with a grain of salt, because in my religion, I believe that my mother is 3 times more important than my father in concerning matters. Like, who should I be most concerned with? And that's my mother. But right now, it's a different person, because my mother's healthy and she's living. I can talk to her and things like that. And there's no threat to that, immediate threat. But right now, today, my father is going to the clinic. We was in the emergency room a couple of days ago, and they told him that they found a matter, something on his brain. And I mean, what more sinister could it be than your brain? I've been boxing all my life, and the most thing that I'm scared of and I've always been worried about, and the thing that makes who I am as a boxer and my style is based upon me not trying to get hit in the head. So it's based upon me protecting my head and not getting brain damage or any type of matter on my brain. So to see this happen to my father, it's really, really tough. And it didn't hit me yet. I cried a few times, but I believe that he'll be okay. I think this is another test. God only lets bad things happen for 2 reasons: as a test to make you stronger, to test your faith, to make you stronger so you can get better at whatever you're doing, or it's a punishment. And surely I don't think any of us are punished on this earth. This is not a punishment on this earth, no matter how hard your trial and test is. So I think my dad has got to pass this test. And we start with prayer, and prayer and congregation. That's one of the reasons why I don't mind sharing my pain, especially when it didn't get to the point where I'm going to just break down. Because my father, man, even though me and him are alike in a lot of ways, and I argue with him a lot of ways, and he gives me the ability to argue with him because of his personality and how much I know him, because I know myself. It allows me to argue with him because I know my limits. But unbelievable. When I think of my history and my past, when somebody that you love and you think about how your past you had with them, there's nothing, my father, that I don't owe to him. There's no way I could ever pay him back. And I failed many times, and when I was younger, I looked up to him, not wanting to be like him, but knowing I couldn't never be like him. I always looked up to him as like super. And he was, and it was proven, And the things that I like now are all reflections of what he was great at. Athleticism. I can remember he used to jump over cars and used to teach the whole neighborhood how to fight. That's where I first learned boxing. You know, we used to be out in the streets, and here have the whole neighborhood. They idolized him. You know, and this was Philadelphia in the 70s and 80s, early 80s. So, my dad, even though he's my toughest test in life, toughest challenge for me to get along with and to obey him and be a son, a good son, he's also my inspiration, the biggest inspiration. I can't think of nobody more has set a more imprint on me. And you know, I got a million things to say about my father, man, but everything that I am, my religion, my career, plumbing, boxing, everything came from my father. It's unbelievable. When I think about it, it's unbelievable. And I don't, even though I idolized him when I was younger, now as I get older, I don't see any faults in him, but it's like I'm scared to idolize him like I used to. I think it's, you know, I don't want him to leave. But now that this brain scare thing, you know, I just want to say on behalf of all my family and true friends, anybody who know my father, if he do leave, which I don't think so, you know, I'm praying, I hope y'all praying, but I'll never be able to fill his shoes. So, you know, this ain't even, I feel like I'm leaving this for my father to watch, like if I'm going somewhere. But I really don't even know why I'm documenting this, but I'm just putting it on thing. I wish my father could look back at this and know how much I love him and how much I appreciate him and how much, no matter what differences I do have with him or that I grow, it really ain't no difference. I am you. Just, you know, and I don't know what to say, man. You know, my dad used to tell me that he prays that Allah makes me better than him. And I strive for that all my life. I strive to be better than my father. And that was the best thing I ever did because his mark is so high, you know. It made me a decent person at least. And but I ain't nowhere near where my dad at. Or where he's been. He's 60. I remember he was 40 years old, he beat me in running. And I was, you know, I was in Olympic trials as a boxer and very fast. I was pretty fast on my feet. And I raced my father in Ohio when I didn't see him in a couple of years. And we got back together and we had some type of picnic. And I raced him and he beat me. And then he beat my friend who was with us. And, you know, he was a super dude. He's a super dude. And I hope he stay with us many more years. And I can't even imagine anything happen. You know, I don't know, bro. That'd be tough. I remember my grandmother passed. I didn't have many people pass in my life. My grandmother passed and it touched me deep, broke me down. I couldn't even imagine what would happen to this, man. If my father or my mother passed, I don't know what I'd do. Because no matter what rights they may have not fulfilled in my life, at least I know that they love me. And they always showed me that there was always a limit to their chastise. And they'll show me love. Unconditional. So, anyway, I'm out, man. Much love. Peace.